also public, and cost is always the bottom line. If you can afford to pay for it, you will get it. If you can't afford to pay for it, you pay for what is an acceptable price.
But how much does it cost for people to care? How much does it cost for somebody to say, "You're all right, though"? You know, I mean, that's what I think's missing. I go back to the Care Quality Commission, you know. I just want a system where if I was sitting on, you know, a bed that I've been on for 3 or 4 hours, somebody'd say, "You're all right, love, do you want a drink of water? How can I help?"
Jay, I'm afraid Steve's getting the last word there because we're in our talk up at the end of the hour. Thanks for your call. After we come back, we're looking at the fact there's going to be a strike by the head teachers. And there's never been a head teacher's strike before, except my head teacher used to give me a strike on the bottom with a cane. That's as near as they ever got to that. We'll be taking your calls on that and continue to take your calls on the NHS and the economy.
Digital radio, London's biggest conversation. This is LBC 97.3.
From the LBC 97.3 News Centre at 12 o'clock. Wounded soldiers face redundancies. Labour leader urges action on jobs. An Italian Prime Minister could step down today. Good afternoon, I'm Rachel Silver. The Ministry of Defence has denied claims in a leaked army memo that more than twice as many soldiers than previously announced, including those injured in Afghanistan and Iraq, are to be made redundant. The MOD has dismissed the memo, which found its way to the Daily Telegraph as the factually incorrect work of a junior officer, and said there were no plans to change the level of cuts to the armed forces outlined in the summer. It's also insisted there'll be no change to the treatment of injured soldiers who are protected from cutbacks until they have reached the right point in their recovery. Ed Miliband has warned that millions of British jobs are at risk because David Cameron and George Osborne are sitting on their hands instead of sorting out the UK's problems. The Labour leader says the Prime Minister and the Chancellor are using the Eurozone crisis as a cloak to hide their inactivity at home. Meanwhile, the Italian Prime Minister, Silvio Berlusconi, is spending what looks like his last few hours in the job. The lower house of the Italian Parliament is due to start debating a package of cuts. If that is approved, he has promised to stand down. Organisers of the Lord's Mayor Show are urging St Paul's demonstrators not to disrupt today's annual procession. Minor alterations have been made to the route. LBC 97.3's Declan Harvey is at the cathedral.
Thanks, Rachel. Thousands of people are lining the streets here, cheering the military bands and floats. But for those taking part in the parade, it seems all their eyes are drawn to the protest camp next to the cathedral. The Lord Mayor is the focus of the demonstration today because it's said he runs a wealthy old boys club, otherwise known as the City of London Corporation. Despite threats of non-violent protests, they haven't materialised yet, and the mood here is high.
Thanks, Declan. LBC 97.3's Declan Harvey reporting there. A 29-year-old lorry driver has been bailed after a cyclist died on one of East London's cycling superhighways yesterday afternoon. The 34-year-old woman is the second cyclist to be killed at the Bow Road roundabout in 3 weeks. The largest public sector trade union has told LBC 97.3 why they're against a failing NHS hospital in Cambridgeshire becoming the first in the country to be privately run. Approval's been given for Circle Healthcare to start running Hinchinbrook Hospital, which is £39 million in debt, from February next year. But Karen Jennings from Unison has told Ken and Steve it could be the start of the demise of the NHS.
When you introduce the private sector, they become major lobbyists for their shareholders, and you only have to look at the United States of America, where those major lobbyists they fought Clinton and they fought Barack Obama to stop having a socialised healthcare. Well, why would they do that? Only that they want to continue with a system where they can maximise their profits.
In sport, England must find a way to stop the free-scoring Spanish at Wembley later as the two teams prepare for next summer's European finals. Fabio Capello's side take on the world champions in a friendly with Frank Lampard captaining the side. We'll have live coverage from Wembley in Scores from 2:30 this afternoon. London's Travel Upper Street northbound in Islington is closed due to an accident from Liverpool Road. And London's weather will stay cloudy for the rest rest of the day, but it should stay dry. Highs reaching 16 degrees, that's warmer than yesterday. It's currently 13 at the Royal Albert Hall. LBC 97.3, it's 12:03.
Meet Craig. Craig saved money on his car insurance at Money Supermarket and he felt amazing. Craig, you're so Money Supermarket that you replaced the 10 CD changer in your boot with a 10-piece mariachi band. Ay, caramba! All because you saved £200. Save money and feel epic. You're so Money Supermarket.
This is LBC 97.3. Call 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Ken Livingston and Steve Norris standing in for David Mellor.
Now, we've got, not just us, we're off in about now, but there's a whole lot going on this weekend. And Steve Allen is in conversation with an Aussie lady who knows a thing or two about the X Factor, the fabulous Danny Minogue. And the British comedian making it big stateside, the hilarious Gina Yashere. So make sure you're listening this Sunday at 9 p.m. on LBC 97.3. And we've heard from Alison, who says, why on earth does a private company want to get involved?
when you see me walk on my hands, and you know, how can a man with a son of 41 walk on his hands? He's got about 13 feet left.
And number 8.
My dad looked like Muhammad Ali. Yeah. 22. In Guyana, you can have 9 different blood. Where is he? He's not here today. What did I do? Go and get a job in a furniture factory in 1965. I was 15. That was my wife. How old is that? He's 41. One's a millionaire. He's got big glory. 41? Yeah. If I didn't marry that German, I wouldn't have made it. But I should have made it. Stayed on. They picked 5 boys, 2 girls and 2 boys.
Thank you.
And is your pension fund fully funded, or are you looking to the taxpayer to make it up?
No, the pension fund has grown from what used to be something like 12% paid in by the employer and 6% by the 4% by the employee. That's grown over time now to around about 14% by the employer and now around 6+% by the employee. The proposals that we've rejected out of hand are that the proposed increase is for up to a 5% increase. Now, all pension schemes are about long-term investment and long-term strategies, and of course are periodically reviewed and tweaked, if you like. And the adjustment at the last revaluation and tweaking was in 2008, and I think that following negotiation gave us something like an additional 1% increased contribution by employees. That nobody's happy to pay that, but that was paid as a result of having the data, having the full facts and information, and accordingly making an increased contribution. And so in that context, we don't have a problem with where there is a clear case for an increase, there actually being a requirement for us to increase the contribution. But 5% doesn't just seem about an increased teacher's contribution. It seems more like 2%, maybe 3% for the pension increase, but also the rest seems to be badged as deficit reduction.
Chris, can I just ask, are you saying, at the moment, as I understand what you said, you're saying the employer's contribution is currently around 14% and the employee's contribution about 6%, so making a total of about 20%.
Just around 21%.
Yeah. Are you saying that the current proposal, because I confess I'm not up to the detail of this, is that the whole 5% goes on the employee's contribution?
On their employee contribution,
yes. So that would go from 6 to 11%.
Yeah.
With the employers paying 14%.
Yes, I think we accept, Stephen, that the offer last week included the phased transitional increase, because remember, I mean, teachers are taxpayers. And we've had no teachers' pay award last year, no teachers'